Hello good friends of the channel. Today is time for another rant. Bit happy about this thing happening and also a bit annoyed about the whole thing as a whole happening. Now, my friends, what am I talking about? Cars. You know, I've talked about it a little bit on this channel before. You know, I'm a fan of car design. You know that I'm a bit of more of a fan of older car design. Nothing new, nothing fancy, because all of it is, how do I put it, copy and paste. All of it is exactly the same thing over and over again. Literally insanity. Vars told me that when I played Far Cry 3. All these new cars, in my opinion, are not going in the right direction. We see a massive rise in EVs. Hybrids are a good one. Hybrids are still a good one. But EVs, they are everywhere. And I don't think it's fully the right solution, or as right of a solution as we think it may be. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you a couple of articles. Here we have Audi admits that the end of combustion engines will be delayed. As you can see, there's a statement by this article I found on Autogear that Audi will continue to produce combustion engine vehicles for a longer period than initially anticipated, following the trend already revealed by brands such as Ford, Porsche, and Mercedes-Benz. You see, my friends, EV sales are falling drastically. People don't want these cars. And why is that, you ask? Well, there is a big major problem with them, especially for different countries, right? Because you have different uses. Let's say we have a electric pickup truck. As soon as you start to tow something with an electric pickup truck, from what I know, the range of it falls terribly, point where it's not worth driving the car anymore. Second of all, people who love cars and love car design and general petrol heads, we like sounds. We like cars that produce sounds. These things they whine. It sounds like someone's nagging at your ear every time you push the pedal down. I don't think that's a great sound. You may be into it, and by all means you can be into it. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm talking from my point of view, as someone who enjoys the design of classic cars, such as a Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2. What a car. Oh, I would love to own a car like this someday. I probably never will. It's insanely expensive, but the design language of a car like this is beautiful. There's so much to look at. There's so much soul behind this. You know, you may think it's just a box. It's not a box. Back to the EV cells. They are failing because they have a lot of issues, especially in countries which are colder. We have batteries in our phones. We have batteries in our cameras. There's a battery in this PSP. There's a battery in this battery pack. Funnily enough, what do batteries do under cool weather? Now, I'm not going to get into the science of it because I didn't research that part, but batteries don't perform very well in the cold environments. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but your phone battery will fall insanely quickly when you're out in the cold compared to using it out in the summer. Now, that be it when it's not too hot either, because batteries don't work then. Batteries are really kind of sucky, aren't they? But the cold weather is not a good thing for batteries. Now, we have countries like here in Poland, it gets rather cold in the winter. Canada, it gets incredibly cold in the winter from what I've heard. These cars don't work as well as they do in the summer. I mean, they do have special technology which heats up the batteries, but unfortunately it's just not the best solution for it. The final thing I kind of want to say about them, an electric car is only as sustainable as the electricity it uses. They're only really that sustainable if we're charging them up with clean electricity. Now, with countries like Poland, even though they're moving away from coal burning, it used to be a massive thing, and then a lot of other countries will probably still use quite bad methods of acquiring electricity, although we are obviously making strides in a completely better direction with all of that. But these countries still use worse ways of making electricity, to the point where the car technically isn't then sustainable. The funny thing about sustainability here is this isn't a sustainable solution. You see, electric cars are fine for the time being. You've seen what happens to phones if you leave them out for too long. The battery will start to increase in volume and expand. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with cars, but batteries do die over time, and you have to do something with them. Notice you can't just go and throw a battery in the bin. That's not allowed in most areas. You have to dispose of them properly. Now, how do you dispose of a battery pack that weighs almost 500 kilograms, if not even more? How do you dispose of that? That's not very easy, and that's not sustainable. They may think it's sustainable because it's fixing the problem now, but sustainability is about fixing the problem later, right? That's the big difference. So technically, electric cars are just a almost get out of jail free card at the moment for them creating sustainable design. It's not sustainable if it's going to ruin the future, because if we have so many electric vehicles driving around, what's going to happen with all their batteries when they're dead or when they have to be replaced? I don't know. That doesn't sound too fun. But as I've said before, I have a couple of different articles as well which I come across. They mentioned that companies such as Porsche are delaying EV plans, and Dodge strongly hints at bringing back a V8 engine for their Charger, which it's ludicrous that they decided to take away a V8 from there. The only reason you'd get a Dodge Charger is to get a V8 in it. There's a global demand for EVs slowing, according to this article here, and in general, that's just what you kind of hear. As you can see, there's a little graph here where we can see that 2021 was a peak kind of area for electric vehicles, kind of after like the COVID stuff where Tesla started becoming really popular and these cars started blowing up. But now people are starting to realize that they're not as good as they were advertised to be. Like, their ranges are really dropping down. These cars aren't great to use anymore. They're not practical, which is what you kind of want a car to be, you know? I hate driving my car when I know something needs to be done on it. Hate it if I was driving a car which suddenly drove half the amount of time which it could before. With all of that, we have some good news. Audi is kind of taking a step back, as well as all these other companies like I mentioned, and they're going to try and push more into the combustion engines again, possibly making some hybrid stuff, which hybrids I'm okay with. I think that's a much better solution than just pure electric. And also they're going back with their stupid naming thing, which this is also a rumor that I heard, but I don't know if you know, but Audi did this terrible thing where even numbers are going to be electrics and odd numbers are going to be combustion engines. I hate it because it took out one of my favorite cars, the Audi A6. It's I love that car to death. It's a beautiful car. It's got good timeless design, every single iteration of it that comes out, in my opinion. This new one is just straight doo-doo. I mean, I swear, if you look at this, it just copied the 7 Series BMW, which I hated already. I thought the design of it is terrible. And they've just copied it? Nah. Why don't we just return to cars like the Mark III Toyota Supra? Like, look at the design of this car. Why don't we return to the 850 CSI? These cars, they were wide-bodied, they had so much presence. Incredible to see one of these, and it still is. I see 2 of these around where I live that just drive around here, and it's every time I see it, just want to practice GTA. The Range Rover L322, that's not like an insanely new car, but it's still beautiful in my opinion. It's a design with purpose, you know. It's a bit of a box, but it's a design with purpose. The NSX, it's just all of these cars, they have such beautiful designs, and I don't feel the same energy coming from any of the new car designs. Absolutely anything. Maybe like the Tourbillon, I believe that's how you pronounce it, the new Bugatti. That was quite an impression, although it kind of just looks like a Chiron. But you don't really see it often that these car companies create something this beautiful again. So it'll be lovely to see. Now, to finish up this video, which unfortunately it's already gone on for a little bit too long. It's a bit of a rant, I know, sorry. But I want to leave you with a sad message. Jeep. I don't know what you're doing, but there's people seeing advertisements in their Jeeps when they stop the car. And this is hilarious story, because I've been telling my friends it's only a matter of time before we get a company like Xiaomi or something make an extremely cheap car that you can buy, like stupid cheap, but for the price of standing at every standing at every single stoplight, an advert playing. Because every time you stop the vehicle, you're going to get an ad playing through the screen, speaker system. You're just going to get ads playing. And it's only a matter of time before that happens. And today I saw Jeep of all brands. I saw Jeep. This is a post I found recently with an ad popping up. FlexCare Extended Care premium plans are factory backed and offer you peace of mind in case a mechanical breakdown. Press the call button to speak to a specialist. Odometer must be less than 36,000 miles to purchase. That's terrible. And I saw this on Instagram today as well. Jeep introduces pop-up ads that appear every time you stop. I don't know how much credibility this post has, but I told you, it's only a matter of time. So, in my opinion, car design is going off a cliff into another cliff, where it's rolling off that cliff, falling deeper down into another cliff, landing on some spiky rocks, falling off that again. Car design, in my opinion, is dead. It really is. We have a glimmer of hope with all the EV stuff and companies pushing back, saying, well, okay, we'll take a step back. But in terms of design, there's way too much CAD involved, and there's no more handcrafting with these vehicles, and they're all beginning to look the same, they're all beginning to look terrible, and at the end of the day, you're also getting ads in them. So maybe, 10 years' time, we're all going to be driving cars that we have to be in because they have to be electric. We can no longer drive combustion engines. I don't know whether the government will issue a car, but then you'll get ads playing all the time. I don't know. The future seems bleak for car design. That's kind of it. I wanted to rant about this because it pisses me off. Frankly, I love cars and I think so much beautiful stuff has been done with cars, and this is just terrible to see. So with that, let me know what you think about car design. I know this is a little bit further away from art, but I'm going to talk about things that I care about on this channel as well, and this is just one of them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this rant. I hope you got something out of it, and if anything, inspire yourself to not do this. If you're an artist and you draw, don't design cars like this, and don't design sustainable stuff for now, because that's not sustainable. That's genuinely not the definition of sustainable. I'll see you in the next video. I want to appreciate you for being here, and take care, and appreciate the cars around you whilst they're still here.